The Toronto Raptors are being slept on right now. They lost in the play-in tournament last season, going down to the Chicago Bulls. It was a disappointing season for a team that many thought could be a really competitive team in the East heading into last season. However, it was clearly time for Nick Nurse to go this offseason, as players and fans grew tired of how he ran things. They replaced him with Darko Rajaković, who was a Grizzlies assistant last season. He's known for his player development and can help some of the young guys reach their true potential. Based on that and his timeline, I'd say we're about to see a massive breakout season from 2022 Rookie of the Year Scottie Barnes. He's entering his third season, and this is the year we could really see a big offensive leap from him. Some fans have started to notice some similarities between his early career and that of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Last season was arguably the best season of Pascal Siakam's career, and he was named to his second All-Star game. He has continued to grow as a facilitator, which should help cushion the blow of losing Fred VanVleet in free agency this summer. Also helping in that area will be free agent addition Dennis Schroder, who figures to start at point guard for Toronto. He's coming off winning the World Cup and being named World Cup MVP. He led Germany to their first ever title and looked like a star on the court. He could be in line for a breakout year this season, and we've even seen him be a nearly 20-point per game scorer in the past. Playing under Darko could also help OG Anunoby reach the star-level offensive ceiling that people have been projecting for him for a long time now. With those four guys and Jakob Poeltl, the team has a really good starting five and could compete with anyone. They have a really high ceiling and could be much better than what we saw last season. They also have two great shooters and bucket getters off the bench, in Gary Trent Jr. and rookie Gradey Dick. The Toronto Raptors are about to shock the NBA. Now let's take a deeper look at why. Before we get into the NBA's underrated team from up north, if you enjoy my content and have watched a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you've watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. As of right now, the Toronto Raptors have the 12th best predicted win total in the Eastern Conference, according to Vegas. It's honestly just disrespectful. The team is obviously better than that, in a play-in team at least, but I think they're even better. But why are people doubting them? The biggest reason is likely Fred VanVleet leaving in free agency to sign with the Rockets. He's been a key player since the title in 2019, and over the past 3 seasons has averaged about 20 points per game. He was even named an All-Star in 2022. But he's been consistently one of the least efficient players in the entire league, and may not have been as strong of a positive impact as many outsiders thought. His replacement in Dennis Schroder did put up noticeably less points and assists than VanVleet last season, but with a larger role in Toronto, he could put up similar numbers, especially with the confidence coming off the summer he had. They can do some playmaking by committee, as Scottie Barnes and Pascal Siakam are great passing forwards. I also really like their guards on two-way contracts, in Javon Freeman-Liberty and Marquise Noel. I'm confident at least one of them will emerge as a rotation player. So I'd say they can more than make up for losing VanVleet. And with likely jumps from Scottie Barnes and Anunoby, they're going to be much better this season. But that depends on the players. So let's take a look at the impact guys for Toronto. When talking about the Raptors, we should probably start with their franchise player, Pascal Siakam. He had his best season yet last year, averaging a career-high 24 points, a career-high 6 assists, and 8 rebounds per game. He put an exclamation point on it with a 50-piece against the Knicks in the Garden. He should be more well-rested under Coach Darko, as Nurse was kind of known for aggressively overplaying his starters. Siakam led the league in minutes per game both of the last 2 seasons. He's 29 years old now, but it feels as if he's still getting better. With what we saw last year, I'd expect him to be an all-star again this season. Then we should talk about Scottie Barnes. He's known to have been off-limits in trades for superstars like Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard because his potential is so high in itself. After being drafted 4th overall in 2021, he won the Rookie of the Year award for his rookie year. He's an elite defender, a great rebounder, and a point forward. He does almost everything you could ask for. He averaged 15 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal per game last season. However, his biggest limitation is still his offense, as he hasn't cleared 30% from 3 to this point. But it's been said that he's been working very hard on his jumper this offseason, and I expect a real offensive leap from him this year. I'd say Scottie is the biggest reason the Raptors decided to hire Coach Darko, and I expect him to bring the most out of him. I'd say it's likely that he averages over 20 points per game this season and has a real chance to make the All-Star game. Some were disappointed they didn't see a jump in year 2, but it's coming in year 3. 26-year-old wing OG Anunoby is clearly valued very highly by the Raptors and across the league. There were reports that the team turned down offers of 3 first-round picks for him. He's an elite defender and was named to the all-defensive teams last season. For the year, he averaged 17 points, 5 rebounds, and a league-leading 2 steals per game. People have long projected him to be one of those defense-first players that evolve into something more, like Kawhi Leonard or Jimmy Butler. We've seen it in glimpses, but it's never been a full season of it. He's another guy who could really benefit from a coach with a focus on player development, and we saw Jaren Jackson take an offensive leap under Darko in Memphis while winning Defensive Player of the Year. He shot 39% from 3 last season and is the absolute best version of the 3-and-D wing right now. Then we should talk about the new starting point guard, Dennis Schroder. He's coming off a World Cup where he averaged 19 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, and 1.4 steals per game. He also dropped 28 in the championship game. He's coming off a playoff run with the Lakers where he was crucial to their defense and looked like an elite defender at the guard spot. We've seen him average nearly 20 points per game with the Hawks and Thunder in the past. His role has been more limited over the past couple years, but if allowed, he could step right into VanVleet's shoes, and likely do it at a more efficient clip. Then I'll run through some other guys in less detail. The team reacquired Jakob Poeltl at last year's trade deadline, and he made an immediate impact. He's a steady presence at the starting 5 spot and averaged 13 points and 9 rebounds with Toronto last season. Gary Trent Jr. is one of the most underrated wings in the league. He's a high-level scorer and averaged 17 points per game off the bench last season. He's a career 38% from 3 and has averaged about 1.7 steals per game over the past 2 years. He's just a great player, and at just 24 years old, he could still have another level to reach. 2023 lottery pick Gradey Dick could make an immediate impact. He's a 6'8" sharpshooter and could provide valuable spacing and scoring off the bench. In terms of lineup, the starters for the Raptors should be Schroder, Anunoby, Barnes, Siakam, and Poeltl. Then the second unit should be Malachi Flynn, Trent Jr., Gradey, Chris Boucher, and Precious Achiuwa. Guys like Christian Koloko, Jalen McDaniels, Noel, and Freeman Liberty could get minutes as well. I really like Koloko's upside, and he could be a second unit guy. So what should we expect from the Raptors in 2024? On the low end, they could be in the play-in tournament again and fight to make the playoffs that way. On the high end, I think they could be a shocking top 4 seed in the East and have home court advantage entering the playoffs. I think they have so much upside and potential on this team that's waiting to be unlocked. Expect at least one All-Star in Pascal Siakam, but guys like Barnes and Anunoby could end up making it as well. The Raptors are arguably the most underrated team in the Eastern Conference, and people should be paying more attention to them. Guys like Barnes, Siakam, Anunoby, Trent, and Schroder could all be better than they were last season. The Raptors are about to shock the NBA. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.